Show them some aloha. Come on, ladies.
John, you talked about pricing a little bit earlier, which is like always asked how to price and what they should be doing, and like how you said to hold your high ground. Should shops, and how pricing hasn't changed in many, many years for a lot of shops, should they be is there a regular schedule that you relook at it to say every 6 months we should be adjusting or increasing, or what?
I think I'm not one that really raises prices and analyzes it, because unfortunately the industry doesn't allow that. You know, you can price yourself out of the industry, but I look to price all the things that we do that's a bit more special than anybody else. So if I'm and honestly, when I did a price comparison with the local printers, I was the cheapest guy in town, believe it or not. You know, these guys are really, you know, so maybe I just been in the wrong industry or the wrong pricing model for years, because I had such a large shop. I had to, you know, when you're dealing with Nike and Disney, you don't set price, they tell you what they're paying. And especially with Nike, they'll come in and they'll look and they'll tell you what your margin needs to be, you know, and if you want the business, you take it. And if you don't want the business, you walk away. But I've never seen a whole lot of people walk away from Nike business. So from a pricing perspective, you know, I like the add-on stuff, but I don't add on, you know, I've amortized my cost because I'm tired of people diving in and going, you know, I used to say, well, you know what, when I printed for music, I was 60 cents on the front and 50 cents on the back. And then, you know, if you went below minimum, you'd have to pay screen charges. And then there were too many colors. Oh, I can't really, God, I give you all this business. I can't really pay the, can you just eliminate the screen charges? And the guy who could never say no said, sure. When it's all rolled in, I refuse to break it out. They don't understand that, and I refuse to break it out. Is it difficult for my clients? They hate it. You know, they hate, they don't, my clients don't even know how to read a pricing list, you know? Ideally, from an automated standpoint that we'll talk about, you know, is having a system that the minute you put it in, based on their price matrix, will kick it out. What I do is I give them a schedule. So every time I get a job, I get a schedule, I run it through my model, I send it back to them, and it shows them 36 to 72, 72 to 144, 144 to 300, and then they can follow the matrix. But to try and tell them it's X amount of dollars a color, well, I don't know how many colors I'm putting on that design at the time. If it's simulated process, I have no idea. I have to guess. So, you know.
Got it. So you'll try to like do the add-ons and keep improving on that.
You know what? I'll improve my margins by efficiency, and I'll improve my margins by charging for ridiculous requests. And then I can really make some money. So when we talk about photo approval, the first thing that came up is, okay, give me a system that tracks it per client, right? And then I can put a time that's allowed against that matrix. And every month, I'll send them a recap of, we planned on 100 minutes this month, or this week. You went to 140 minutes. Here's the data. We're gonna bill you for the 40 minutes. And I think that's very fair. Because if I followed what Luke said, and just tell people it was going to be $50, I know the answer. I know what my clients would say. You know, some of them would say it's well worth it, and others would say see you later. When I was doing big rock and roll printing for the brand Bravado, they would be like, "You're the only one that's charging us rush charges. We don't pay them." And I said, well, I have to have them. You're screwing up with my production. And they left. Well, that's the power of no. And you know what? The hardest thing for younger people to do is understand that power. Me and you get it, you know, but boy, it's tough when you're trying to start a business to say no to anybody. You know, I know my partner can. You know, for me, success, find the right client base. You know, our business model, so when you're out there trying to find who you want to sell to, and then we'll end this because Ryan's looking at his watch. I look for the people that I can grow with, so I won't take business from people that throw me business. So if I'm like an overflow to some of my music accounts because they get into a certain situation and nobody else will do it, so call the guy, he's way more expensive, but he'll get it done. I don't really want that work. You know, I want work where I can partner up with a brand and help them through our expertise and their expertise grow their business, which inherently grows my business. Yes, sir.
We're getting asked more and more to do custom neck labeling, hang tags, all that sort of stuff. How do you deal with that in your business?
That's value-added service. It's billed at the second tier. It's almost like a second department in my operation. It's always been. One of the things that when we talk about writing down on the Post-it notes what you would like, I want a digital neck label machine. I think it just makes all the sense in the world. You'll never print through it. You don't. I've never used pad printing because I hate the smell of that ink. It really makes me sick. And so I screen print every neck label, but you know, I can't tell you how many times on fine gauge fabric I've gone through the back on the first rounds of shirts. And you know what, it's very complicated, you know. I'll have a job for a client that will have the same neck label, but the only thing that changes is fabric content. And I'll do that through the day. It's like 5 screens for this 144 shirt run, and 5 screens because they want the same thing on cotton and tri-blend. Build me a machine, Joel. Just build me a machine that I can press a button and I can change everything. He's not
There you
listening.
go.
So what's checking gears?
Because the person who does that, now, obviously you have to look at what a pad printer costs. Then you have to look at what a small ASP IOU machine does it for. But I'll tell you what, if you buy a small press at $12,000, a digital version at $25,000 is well worth the investment. You don't have to have all the colors on it. You know, we print 3 colors of neck labels: black, off-white, and gray. That's all you need. The issue is how to treat the fabric, right? If you're doing black shirts, I would think that would probably be the issue, right? You have to treat it, but you only have to treat such small areas. So figure it out, Joel. You'll own the industry. People will love that shit.
Ooh.